Okay, my name is Sophie and I'm going to demonstrate the proper procedures for donning and doffing PPE. The first step is going to be to perform hand hygiene. In this case, I'm using 3 to 5 milliliters of an alcohol-based rub, and I'm rubbing my hands vigorously until my hands are dry. The first piece of PPE that I'm going to put on is my gown. So I'm going to stick my arms through the sleeves one at a time. And I'm going to go ahead and tie the ties around the neck, like the back of the neck. And then I'm going to go ahead and tie the ties around the waist. The next thing I'm going to do is put on my mask. So I'm going to take this upper tie and the other side, and I'm going to tie it around my head. And then I'll take the bottom too and tie that on the neck. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to use my prescription eyeglasses as my eyewear because I don't have a face shield or any goggles. So typically, prescription eyeglasses do not offer protection in the form of PPE. However, we're going to pretend that these are goggles. I'm going to hold them from the arm of the goggles. I'm going to place them on the head with ungloved hands. And next I'm going to put on my gloves. Because these are sterile gloves, they are folded over at the bottom. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to scoop them up at the cuff with my dominant hand. And I am going to pull this over my hand. I think you're supposed to do the dominant hand first, but it is what it is. I'm going to use this gloved hand to then pick up the other glove, and I'm going to stick my hands through, pull that down, and I'm going to go ahead and have my gloves covering the wrist of my gown. So once that's finished and we are finished with our procedure, we're going to go ahead and remove our PPE. So the first thing that we're going to do is take off the gown and the gloves at the same time. So I've gone ahead and untied each of the ties at the neck and the waist, and I'm going to start removing this and rolling it over, keeping the soiled side of the gown away from my body and any clothing. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to pull the gloves off. Now I'm grabbing this with my hand, but it is the clean side that was towards my body. So again, keeping the soiled side away from my body. And because this is a disposable gown, I'm going to go ahead and dispose of that in the proper receptacle. The next thing that I'm going to do is perform hand hygiene. You would want to exit the room and then perform hand hygiene after removing the gloves, but I only have so much space, and yeah. Then I'm going to go ahead and remove my eyewear. Same thing, grabbing it from the arms because these are single use. I'm going to put them in the proper receptacle, or if they were reusable, I would put them in the proper receptacle to be cleaned. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove my mask. So we're just going to untie at the top and the bottom. And because this is disposable as well, I'm going to go ahead and dispose of that in the proper receptacle. And again, for good measure, perform hand hygiene.